Hello, I am Joshua A. Bear. I am a QA bridge inspector with LADOTD, and today I will be showing you some of the basics of the InspectX website, including the content of various pages, how to view, download, and print an existing inspection report, and the process for scheduling and completing an inspection report online. The first screen will be the login screen, and it can be found by entering the address shown on the bottom of the screen. You will log in by entering the username supplied to your parish and then clicking continue. Then entering your password and clicking login. If you enter your password wrong 3 times, your account will be locked. If you've forgotten your password or you have locked your account, you will need to contact your local district inspection office or HQ Bridge Inspection Office. After logging in, this will be your default screen. We'll start with this bar at the top, uh, which will be shown in most parts of the website. Uh, this MBI bridges drop down is only used by DOTD, and it is to go between our bridge and tunnel inventory. The jump to structure is used to go to a specific bridge file. I will cover this later on. The inventory shows all data for all bridges in your inventory. Schedule shows upcoming and overdue inspections. Inspection shows data for all inspection reports. And maintenance is only used by DOTD at the moment and is just to track maintenance on our bridges. You can see we started in inventory and dashboard, and this dashboard is just general information regarding your bridge inventory. Selecting list will list all of the structures in your inventory with some identifying information and condition ratings of the structure. If you click the recall number on the left side, this will bring you to the bridge file for that specific report. Selecting map shows a Google map with all of your bridges overlaid onto it. Hovering over a icon will show the recall for that structure. While clicking on it will give you more information about that bridge. Also, clicking view asset right at the top will bring you to the bridge file for that recall. Selecting charts. This page will generate a chart for different data, which can be selected using this drop down box. And clicking on elements will list out all of the elements for each structure. And it gives each element a item line, so you will see recall numbers repeated on the left hand side. Clicking the recall on this page will also bring you to the bridge file for that bridge. Next, we will select schedule. Scheduling will start at another dashboard, which shows the number of overdue and upcoming inspections. This shows all of the required inspections, including routines, but we can use this first drop down box to filter out just parish inspections. You can scroll through all the inspection types to find it, or you can start typing out parish, and this will narrow down your selections. Clicking on parish inspection will change this dashboard, and it will just show the one parish inspection that is upcoming in December. Clicking on list will show all required inspections. And as you can see that this filter from the previous page is still selected, so I am only seeing parish inspections. It gives the due date again. The scheduled date will only show once the bridge has been scheduled, and the inspection status as well. You can filter. If you had more than just this bridge, you can filter by upcoming and overdue inspections, and if they've been scheduled or not scheduled. Clicking the recall on this structure will also bring you to the report file. Selecting maps again will bring you to a Google map with the bridges that are due overlaid onto it. Next, we will be moving on to the inspection. Here we have another dashboard showing data regarding all of the open inspections in your bridge inventory. Clicking list. This shows all of the inspections that are currently open for any bridge in your inventory. This list also shows various information regarding the open inspections. This list should be easy to navigate, but if there are a lot of inspections, you can use the first drop down box to filter out by inspection types. Clicking map. Again, this will just show the location of the bridges that have open inspection reports. We'll not go over the maintenance tab because as I said, this is only used by DOTD currently to track needed and completed repairs. Next, we'll be talking about the bridge files. These can be reached by clicking on the recall numbers in any of the previous pages, but I will be using the jump to structure option at the top of the page. You will see a drop-down list appear with all of your recall numbers listed. You can scroll through this list to find the one you're looking for, or you can just use the search function and type in your recall. And clicking on this recall will bring you to the first page in your bridge files. The first page you will see when entering a bridge file is called the summary page. This page shows some commonly used information as well as a photo of the bridge and a map of showing the location of the bridge. When navigating bridge data, it is important not to use the page links at the top of the page next to the jump to structure option. Even though these share the names of some of the pages we were navigating through, they do not serve the same purpose and will cause you to leave the bridge file and return to the bridge inventory pages. The next page we will be looking at is the inspection page. The inspection page is broken into 4 sections. The first section is scheduled inspections, and it just shows all open reports for the structure, along with who is responsible and its current status. The approved inspection section lists all inspections that have been performed and approved since 2016. Then scrolling all the way to the bottom on the left side, you will see we list all of the elements for the structure, and the right side lists all of the inspections, their frequencies, and due dates. Scrolling back to the top, we will skip the maintenance section and go to the files page. This page shows the files that have been attached to the structure. The left side are different categories, and the number in parentheses show how many files are attached in that category. Most of these will not have files because this page is for files that aren't related to any specific inspection. But you click other, you can see there are files here. Clicking on it will give you a thumbnail on the right hand side, and double clicking will open an exploded view of it. These files can also be downloaded by clicking the download button at the top right here. Our next section, we will be skipping the review because that page is for DOTD and just shows the SMBI coding errors and the under records, which will usually be blank for off system structures because it's used for the clearances for on system routes under a bridge. This this page is also being moved to the inventory tab with the implementation of the new SMBI data. So we will move on to channel history. This page contains historical channel measurements and is used to compare data to look for any major changes in the channel. You see the bottom, you can see there are inspections listed and the dates they were done. You can toggle these on and off by clicking on them, and you'll see them removed or added to the graph. Our next section will be the inventory. This page shows the inventory data for the structure and is organized into multiple subpages, which are shown on the left-hand side of the screen. Clicking the hamburger button at the top will expand this sidebar to show the titles of each of the pages, which will make navigation easier. Our first page, the SMBI page, gives the identification, location, classification, and geometric data for the structure. If you're curious as to how any of this information is collected, you can click on the name of any of the items with the blue text and it will pop up a tooltip which gives guidance on how to code that field. So the actual detour length, it gives text on how to collect it, and then it gives an example of what the actual detour is. Our next page, which is the condition ratings, shows the SMBI condition ratings for the structure and other inspection information. Next is the load rating page, and this just gives load rating information as well as the required posting. Our span and sub page gives the material and configuration of the spans and the substructure. Feature sets gives you all of the features that cross on, over, and below a structure and any information related to those features. This is where under records is being moved to. Scour page shows the scour vulnerability information for the structure. And our last page, which is the MBI page, just shows historical data on the bridge. Our next section, we'll be going back to the inspection screen, and I will show you how to view an inspection and the website. To view a web-based report, we will start at the Bridge Files inspection page and choose the inspection that we want to view. I will be using this last routine inspection. On the right-hand side, we will click on Select Operation and then select View. Once a report is loaded, the first page you will see will be the inspection date page. And at the top of this page will be a navigation bar. On the left side, it will show the recall number as well as the type of inspection we are looking at. On the right side, you will see links to the multiple pages that make up a bridge inspection report. I will be skipping the review page because it is only used by DOTD to show coding errors. I will also be skipping the inventory page because it shows the same data as the inventory page on the bridge file. And this page is only used by DOTD inspectors to make changes when data has been incorrectly coded. There is also a navigation bar on the left-hand side, and this is used to navigate the different parts of the inspection page. Clicking on the hamburger icon at the top of this bar will expand the the menu to show the titles of each individual page, which makes navigation a little easier. The data on the inspection date page includes the inspection type as well as the frequency at the time of inspection, the inspection beginning and completion date, and the equipment used to access the bridge. You will notice that the equipment is highlighted green. This is just to show that this is new data that was added during this inspection. Next, we will move on to the SMBI condition page. This page is broken into multiple sections. The inspection personnel section shows the number of inspectors and the total man hours required to complete this inspection. You will notice that these fields are highlighted in orange, and that just lets the reviewer know that these fields had data changed during the inspection. The posting information includes the actual detour length, as well as the posted load and required posting at the time of inspection. If a structure is posted, there should be a solid comment bubble in the note field next to it, and this will include photos of the posting sign taken during the inspection. The posting status is a new SMBI field. It is blank in this report because the data had not yet been collected at the time of inspection, but the load posting status will give information about the structure, such as if the structure is a permanent or temporary structure, as well as if it is currently open, posted, or closed. And then the posting status change date is the date that the load posting status was changed. Scrolling down, next will be the condition ratings. And clicking on the name of a condition rating will bring up a tooltip that shows the relationship between the element defect severity and the condition ratings. If for some reason the condition states and condition ratings do not match this chart, there should be a solid comment bubble in the note field next to that condition rating with a justification of why the condition rating was chosen. We keep going. The next section will be other inspection information. This includes the surface thickness, if the structure has any special details or requires any specialized inspections, as well as the scour vulnerability rating. Next, we will move on to the inspection notes. Here we have multiple note fields. The executive summary is used by DOTD to list work orders and other issues that may need to be monitored or addressed. This may also contain a short overview of the structure's condition. The inspection notes are used to note issues with the bridge that are not directly related to elements, such as missing object markers and posting signs, damaged approach guardrail, and issues with the transition between the approach roadway and the structure. Structure notes can contain a note about the structure that wouldn't normally change over the life of the bridge, such as why a bridge would be considered a complex structure, what elements need an underwater inspection, and the direction that the bridge was inventoried. The parish notes is used by the parish to note their findings during their inspections. This field is read-only for DOTD inspections. Next will be the channel data page. This page shows the channel measurements taken during the inspection and is broken into 3 sections. The first section being the channel bed measurements, which shows the scour vulnerability rating, the correction location, which is the distance from the beginning of the bridge to where the correction measurement was taken, the water level, which is the distance from the reference point to the top of the water. The side of the structure shows the side of the structure measurements were taken on, and this is done using direction of inventory. The reference point is the part of the bridge where the channel measurements were taken. The options are rail, deck, and curb. The correction is the measurement from the reference point to the bottom of the cap. Our next section, the channel cross section. This is a table of all the measurements taken. The first column is the measurement label. It is used to describe where the measurement was taken using bent numbers or a sequential number for intermediate measurements. Next is the measurement location, and this is a measurement in feet of where the measurements were taken in relation to the beginning of the bridge. And the depth measurement is the distance measured in tenths of a foot from the reference point to the ground line. Our last section is the channel profile, and this is just the data from the channel cross section mapped into a graph to give a visual representation of the channel. The next page would be the maintenance page, but we will skip this because, as I stated before, it is currently only used by DOTD to track required maintenance. And our last page will be the condition rating page. This page just contains historical data and was used during the migration from the old MBI data to the new SMBI data. Next, we will be moving on to the elements section of the report. This page displays all of the elements for the structure. The orange highlight means that something about this element was changed during this inspection. This can include the total quantity, defect quantities, an inspection note, or just adding a photo to the element. Clicking the plus sign next to the element will expand it to show all defects attached to that element, along with their condition states quantities. While clicking one of the blue info icons will show the values from the previous inspection. The solid color comment bubble will show inspection notes. And if you click the info icon on this one, you can see changes made during this inspection. All comments in red were deleted while green were added. You may notice that some of the text was deleted and added. This can be caused by the inspector deleting a comment and retyping it. Selecting close will bring you back to the element list. Next, we will be talking about the sketch page. This page is not usually used, but its function is to make electronic sketches of the bridge. Next will be the File tab. This page is the same as the File tab on the bridge files. The only difference is that the files in this page are specific to this inspection. And last, we will be looking at the photo log. This is a collection of photos taken during this inspection. You can see there is a thumbnail of the picture, the date the picture was added to the inspection, a description of your photo, a toggle switch for report, which will decide if a picture is included in a printed report, toggle for primary photo. Whichever photo is turned on will be the photo that will be displayed on the summary page. The photo on the summary page will be taken from the most recent inspection that has a primary photo toggled on. The photo assignment is the attribute in the inspection that this photo is attached to. Clicking on a photo will enlarge it. Once you're viewing it like this, if you click again, it will expand the picture to its full size. At the bottom, you can see the description for the photo and the date that the photo was added to the report. Clicking the X or clicking off of the photo will return you to the list view. And that is a web-based inspection. Clicking exit inspection will return you to the bridge file inspection page. Now I will be showing you how to download and print a PDF inspection. So we will start at the bridge file inspection page and click select operation next to the report that we wish to download. As you can see, there are multiple options for downloading a report. I will be using download inspection report because this inspection was performed in June of 2025. If it had been inspected before January 1st, 2025, I would have selected download MBI inspection report. This pop-up allows you to decide which pages to include in the PDF file, as well as what order they will appear in. I will be keeping all of the pages and leaving them in the default order. Next, we will click download report. The time to download the inspection report is dependent on the speed of your internet as well as the size of the inspection report. As you see, it popped up at the top. We will click our download option and click on the inspection report. You can look through your inspection report by scrolling, but it contains all of the data that we went over when reviewing the web-based report. To print the report, click on the printer icon at the top of the PDF view. Then select your printer in the destination section and click print. For this final section, I will be going through the process of scheduling and completing a bridge inspection. On the bridge file inspection page, select schedule an inspection at the top right. On this next page, we will select under inspection type, we will select parish inspection. We will be leaving the inspection frequency at 12 months because changing this will cause the next due date to be calculated incorrectly. On the scheduled for field, we will be selecting the date that we plan to perform the inspection, or if you have already performed the inspection, then backdate it to show the date that the inspection was performed. Under team leader and inspector, we will be selecting your parish. And I will also be adding myself as an inspector because a report that is in progress cannot be opened by anybody that is not listed as an inspector. Under reviewer, you will be selecting your bridge engineer for your local DOTD district. And under inspection comment, give a short description regarding the purpose of the inspection. So if the inspection was done to monitor a closure, your comment would be parish inspection done to verify bridge closure. But this inspection has a critical finding, so our note will state that the parish inspection was done to monitor the rotation at abutment 3. After that is complete, we will click schedule. Once the scheduling process has completed, you will be brought back to the bridge file inspection page, and you will now notice that your inspection is listed in scheduled inspections with a status of scheduled. This means that the inspection report has not yet been started. So we will go over to select operations and click inspect. After clicking inspect, you will be brought to the inspection date page. Again, do not change the inspection frequency, and you will want to make sure that your inspection date is set to the date that the field inspection was performed, and set your completion date to the date that you completed your field inspection. Most times this will be the same date. And then under the equipment section, we will click add. And on the drop down under inspection equipment, we will select access equipment used. This can include equipment such as a ladder, waders, or a boat. Click on the one that applies. If you did not use any access equipment, you select no access equipment used. Then you will add the number of hours that you use the equipment for. For no access equipment, number of hours can be left blank. Next, we will go over to the left side and click the navigation bar, and we will be moving on to the inspection notes. On the inspection note page, you will notice that executive summary, inspection remarks, structure notes, and underwater notes are all read-only. These are on this page for informational purposes only. The parish inspection note is where you would make your comments about the inspection. This field should include the full name of all personnel performing the inspection and any additional findings that you noted during your inspection, including defects that have gotten worse and issues with the signage at the bridge. If I was performing this inspection after Mr. Harden, I would remove his name and add my own. And then I would renumber my photos to match the photos that I added to this inspection, and change any of this data to be updated to match what I found it during this inspection. And when I click off of this box, you will notice that it changes orange to note that I made changes. Next, we will click on this comment bubble, which should bring up this page, which is where we will add our photos to the inspection. There are two ways to add photos. First, you can click add photos, which will bring up a dialog box, and you can select the photos you want to add. And then click open. And you notice the description is blank. You will need to add in a description for your photo. If you have it in your picture already, then your photo title will transfer into the description. The other way to add photos is open up the folder where your photos are located. Then you highlight the photos you want, and you can drag and drop them onto this board. And that will add them to the inspection. As I said, if you have your photo titled, then it will carry over to the description once I click finish. This may take a while to complete. Do not refresh your page until it has finished processing, or you will lose your photos. Scrolling back down, if I click on this again, you can see that I now have my photos, and if I click on them, my photo description will be at the bottom. You can exit and close this out. Next, we will be looking at the condition rating page. On this page, you will notice that the only editable information is number of inspectors and man hours. The number of inspectors should match the number of inspectors listed in your parish inspection notes, and man hours should be the total time spent in the field inspecting multiplied by the number of inspectors in the field. Inspectors will also need to verify that the postings at the structure match the posted load. and that they are lower or equal to the required posting. Scrolling down, you can look over the condition ratings of the structure. If you think that any rating needs to be changed, then you can make a note in the parish inspection notes giving the rating that you recommend, but you will also need to provide notes and photos to support this rating. You will also need to check if the scour condition rating is 3 or less, or if the scour vulnerability is coded C, D, or U. If any of this criteria is met, you will need to perform a stream bed measurement. And that will be entered by selecting the channel data. If a stream bed is required, the only information you should be changing on this page is the water level and the depth measured for each location. For consistency, all measurements should be taken from the same reference point and at the same locations as previous inspections. Next will be the element tab. This functions the same as it did when we were viewing the routine inspection. Clicking the plus sign will show all of the defects for each element. Clicking on the comments will show you the defect notes. Any bubble with a solid black comment bubble has comments, while the hollow ones do not. This page is for informational purposes only, and the parish should not be updating element defect quantities or updating defect notes. Next, we will be looking at the File tab. Most inspection reports you will not need to upload any files to this page, but if you do, you will select the relevant category and then click Upload Files. Then, like with adding photos, you can either drag and drop onto this bar or select Files, and then select the files you want to add. Click Open and Submit. And as you can see, these photos were added to this category. And last, we will be looking at the photo log. On the photo log, we just need to scroll through our photos and make sure that they all have descriptions and that they are all assigned to the parish inspection notes. If you scroll all the way to the bottom, you will see one photo has the date of the last inspection. This is the primary photo from the previous inspection. If you did not take another profile photo, do not delete this photo, and leave it selected as the primary. Once you are done verifying that everything is as it should be, click Exit Inspection, and this will return you to the bridge file inspection page. Now that we've gone through our inspection, you can see our status has changed from scheduled to in progress. Our next step will be to submit for final approval. And we do that by clicking Select Operation and clicking Request Final Approval. Then clicking Submit. And that is everything that is required to perform an inspection.